Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. The national anthem of Jamaica. All rise.
Eternal Father, bless our land. Guide us with thy mighty hand. Keep us free from evil powers. Be our light through countless hours. To our leaders, great defenders, grant true wisdom from above. Justice, truth be ours forever. Jamaica, land we love. Jamaica, 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 land we love. Teach us true respect for all. Stir response to duty's call. Strengthen us the weak to cherish. Give us visions lest we perish. Knowledge sent us, heavenly Father, grant true wisdom from above. Justice, truth be ours forever. Jamaica, land we love. Jamaica, 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 land we love.
So good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Miguel Beckford, and on behalf of the entire Mount Alvernia team, the board, students, parents, and graduating class, let me say welcome to graduation 2020. In a time when N95 has become the buzzword on everybody's lips, we're celebrating our 95th year of graduations. And, you know, the first one that started when I was a kid, 95 years ago. And now we're having a pandemic shift. Paradigm shift, you know? So now I fully understand the term that shift happens. So without further ado, I'm going to invite Reverend Major Milverton Monroe. He's a member of the school board, and he will be doing the invocation.
Let us pray. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Almighty and ever-living God, we invoke your presence to be with us now at this virtual graduation exercise for the Mount Alvernia Preparatory and Kindergarten School. Father, we present before you our principal, members of the academic and ancillary staff, the chairman and members of the school board, the president and members of the Parent Teachers Association, and ask your blessing upon them. We thank you for all that they give to this institution and the children in affection, companionship, counsel, and spiritual support. We also present these children to you for your blessing, especially the members of the graduating class. Help them to count their parents, teachers, and guardians as among the richest blessings of this life, and help us as adults in return to be sensitive to their needs, to care for them so that they may grow up rooted in love steadfast in faith, and strong and courageous in life. May we never hinder, but help and encourage these children towards independence and maturity, and to a living faith in your Son, Jesus Christ, our Lord. Amen. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Thank you very much, Reverend Monroe. Now this time we'll have the Bible reading, which is taken from Proverbs 4, verses 1 to 9. That's Proverbs 4, verses 1 to 9. This will be done by Hannah Banks and Justin Kroll.
Our Bible reading comes to us from Proverbs 4, verses 1 to 9. My children, listen to what your father teaches you. Pay attention, and you will have understanding. What I am teaching you is good, so remember it all. When I was only a little boy, my parents' only son, my father would teach me. He would say, remember what I say and never forget it. Do as I tell you and you will live. Get wisdom and insight. Do not forget or ignore what I say.
Do not abandon wisdom, and she will protect you. Love her, and she will keep you safe. Getting wisdom is the most important thing you can do. Whatever else you get insight. Love wisdom, and she will make you great. Embrace her, and she will bring you honor. She will be your crowning glory. These are the words of the Lord. Thanks be to God.
Well, we want you to feel welcome to our graduation this year. And I don't know, but I just won't feel properly welcome unless one of the graduates does this for me. So at this time, I'm going to ask Neakaya Campbell to come and just do the official welcome.
It's not the strongest of the species that survives, nor the most intelligent. It is the one most adaptable to change. Charles Darwin. Chairman of the school board, Mrs. Yvonne White Powell, and other members of the school board. Father Colin King, Vicar for Education, Diocese of Montego Bay. Guest speaker, Dr. Nicole Nation and other distinguished guests. Teachers and all staff members. Parents and friends. Most importantly, my fellow graduates. Good afternoon. I am truly honored to welcome you to our 95th graduation and to share these sentimental moments with our parents and relatives virtually. This year, 2020, has really been the year of adaptation. Who would have thought that our last day at Malta Alvernia Prep School would have been in March? Who would have thought that there'd be no last Teacher's Day, PE shirt signing, fun day, nor sports day? Who would have thought that although apart, we have found a Zoom million ways to remain connected? And Who would have thought I'd be welcoming you virtually? I speak on behalf of my fellow graduates when I say during these times we have adapted and embraced the importance of family, friends, while studiously grasping the loyal expertise of our teachers. Thank you to all our teachers and school faculty that have nurtured us. We are truly grateful for the time and effort you all placed into preparing us for the next adaptation to secondary education. Welcome to this virtual milestone of our young lives. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to our virtual graduation.
Thank you so much, Neakai. Now I feel like I can continue. Come on, put your hands together for Neakai. That was a great job. Ladies and gentlemen, we will be having a set of greetings. But before we get into our greetings, just to let you know that I have some tips to share with you for online interviews. I'll be giving you them in, pieces. But just before we welcome Inspector Yvonne White Powell to give our greeting, I just want to share the first tip with you in terms of using Zoom to do some of the most exciting features that you may be asked to do. For example, you may be required to use Zoom to do your interviews before getting into high school. Who knows? The way things are going, then we never can tell. So, tip number one, ensure that you are properly attired from head to toes. You never can tell if the camera will shift. And remember, I told you, shift happens. So ensure that you're properly attired. You never can tell. That was tip number one. So this time I'm going to invite Inspector Yvonne White Powell, and she's a chairman of the school board, and she'll be giving her greeting.
Thank you very much, Mr. Master of Ceremonies. All persons having been duly recognized. And I am smiling because that shifting of the camera might put a lot of us in trouble today. Please do not shift the camera, the person who is hosting this session. On behalf of the members of the school board, I would like to say how privileged and proud I am this afternoon to be a part of this historic occasion. And for all the students that are graduating, I would like you to touch yourselves and say, I am so special, because nobody else has ever had a graduation like the one I am having this afternoon. Mommy and daddy and all of us adults are always telling you to be creative, but this time you caused us to be creative. And so I want to say thank you to Mrs. Sherian and the members of her team, so that the children can have their special moment, because this time will never come again. It's a time in your lives that you can never relive. You can never have another graduation from Mount Alvernia Prep School. And so we could not have deprived you of it. And I want to say to you children, stay focused. You are in an age that the times are so uncertain and no one knows what tomorrow will bring. But you know that what you want to do is strive for excellence and to become something good and something great. So once again, touch yourselves and say, I am so special. And I want you to have all to have a very special graduation day. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Inspector. So, our next special greeting will be coming to us from Father Colin King, and he is the Victor for Education, Diocese of Montego Bay.
Dear Madam President and board members, esteemed visitors and guests, teachers, staff, and parents, friends, and relatives of the graduates, and most especially graduates of 2020. Welcome to this graduation. What a great day for us to gather together, though not in person, virtually, as we remember and we reward the hard work and years of growing and developing his skills. In a special way, I'd like to make sure that we remember the motto of our school, that the worker receives their reward for their labor. And we remember the ways in which the years of hard work and education have led to this day. A day of graduation does not happen by mistake, does not happen by chance. It takes years of work, years of tears, years of struggle, years of frustration to grow and to become the person God has made us to be. In a special way, we remember how that's occurred during this COVID-19 outbreak, how so much has changed so fast. So my dear graduates, while certainly we welcome you, I also want to make sure we welcome the teachers, principal, and staff of Mount Alvernia Prep, who have had to, on a moment's notice, change their entire approach to education, and yet have maintained the high level of excellence that this school has been known for. And so to all of you who have worked so diligently and so hard, all of the teachers, the staff, the principals, everybody who have worked so diligently and so hard, welcome to you. Parents, of course, there would be no graduation without you, with your support, love, and encouragement of your children. And as we gather on this day, let me just be a reminder that although this chapter of Mount Alvernia Prep has closed, a new chapter begins. And I'm begging you, please continue to show the same level of support and engagement in your child's education in this new chapter as you have in this one that has come to an end. A child cannot learn alone. Parents and family, relatives, friends, all of us have a responsibility to see that our children are educated. I thank you for the work you have done to lead to this day. You too are most welcome to be here. And as we gather on this day, let us remember all of the folks who have brought us to here, all of the folks who have supported us along the way, and that cannot be here right now in this virtual meeting, in this virtual graduation. But all of the people who have gone throughout our lives to bring us to this moment. And we pray that God will continue to bless them, that God will continue to bless all who are gathered in a special way, that God will continue to lead the graduates of Mount Alvernia Prep 2020 into the future of abundant blessings that he has for them. Again, I say, you are most welcome to be here.
Speech, all kinds of stuff. So this is a school where when you get here and you leave here, you are well-rounded. You would have completed all that is required by the Ministry of Education and so much more. It is with that thought in mind that I invite our next presenter, who is none other than Isaac Downer with his gold medal presentation, his JCDC gold medal presentation. Welcome, Isaac Downer.
Be glad your nose is on your face by Jack Peloski. Be glad your nose is on your face, not pasted on some other place. For if it were where it's not, you might dislike your nose a lot. Imagine if your precious nose was sandwiched in between your toes. That clearly would not be a treat. So would be forced to smell your feet. Your nose would be a source of dread, where it attached atop your head. It soon will drive you to despair, forever tickled by your hair. Within your ear, your nose would be an absolute catastrophe, for when you were obliged to sneeze, your breath would rattle from the breeze. Your nose instead, too thick and thin, remains between your eyes and chin. not pasted on some other place. Be glad your nose is on your face.
Well, for more reasons than one, Isaac, I'm very glad my nose is on my face. For one, I don't think it would hold between my toes. There would be a slight challenge for space. All right, so we will be having the principal's address in a few, but I want to share with you tip number 2, and I'm going to ask my technical persons to assist me here. So for tip number 2, it's to ensure that your background is clear. Ensure that your background is clear and it is clutter-free.
What about the sound?
So your biography or your autobiography should not be in your background when you're doing an interview. All of this being exposed here. So you should really have a very clear, clean background, and that will present you as somebody who is fit, whether to be in this school or in a program or whatever it is, so that the persons looking on will not look in your background and say, oh my God, what's going on here? So please, tip number 2, keep your background clutter-free. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we will be inviting the principal of Mount Alvernia Prep School, Mrs. Theresa Sharian, and she will be giving her report. Put your hands together as we make her welcome.
Good afternoon, Mr. Beckford, Master of Ceremonies, Chairman and members of the board, Vicar for Education, Father Colin King, guest speaker, Dr. Nicole Nation, specially invited guests, teachers, administrative staff, ancillary staff, parents, graduates, friends, well-wishers. It is my pleasure to give this report on this our annual but virtual graduation ceremony. Our academic year 2019-20 started off beautifully on September the 2nd, 2019 with General Assembly. Our former chairman, Reverend Father Carl Clark, addressed us and set us out on the tracks with the verses from 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verses 16 to 17, Ecclesiastes chapter 9, verse 11, and Philippians chapter 4, verse 13. He reminded our students, teachers, and parents that we were to pray without ceasing, develop an attitude of gratitude, and that the race was not for the swift, but for those who can endure. But he assured us that we can do all things through Christ who strengthens us. We started with full day classes and pressed on full steam ahead. Little did we realize how much those verses meant as we passed through the months of March to June 2020. In an effort to be concise, this report will be, for the most part, be about the graduating. 3 weeks into the new school year and term, island-wide dengue outbreak became a source of concern. We maintained all the preventative measures at school. We were inspected by the health department for breeding sites for mosquitoes, and the inspectors did not find any. School was fogged routinely by the health department. We were checked off as a safe school. Nevertheless, 13 of our students came down with the illness, 2 of whom were our grade 6 students. A month at the school. Grades 4 to 6 students and parents exposed to additional learning resources, materials, by a company called EduFocal. A bond was established between our school and library. A presentation was done by a librarian for students of grades 4. The motto of our school is the worker gets the reward of his labor. This is so in the school's achievements during the year. Annual Spelling Bee is an activity that involves grade 6 students. Preparation began during the summer holidays. Justin Kroll, Kai Hong, Tafari Wright, Nathan Hunter, Basil Arshad, Matthew Beckford, Darian Blackmore, Hannah Iban, Divya Acharya, Alice Wynn, Yendi He, and Yu Chen were our internal competitors. Under Miss Johnson and Mrs. Lanneman, students had several spell down sessions. After the official spell down with spellmaster Miss Beverly Hall, Alice Wynn and Basil Arshad emerged as the top girl and boy. They represented the school at the parish finals, which had 50 participants from various schools in the parish. Basil came fourth and Alice came eighth. We congratulate them on their efforts. Culture Day under the theme Our Heritage, A Great Legacy was held in October, and Jamaica Day was held in February under the theme Celebrating Jamaica, highlighting our icons in arts, agriculture, and technology innovations. Grade 6 students were keen participants in these two events. We have difficulty identifying leadership qualities in our students from grades 4 to 6. This is an area of concern as the vision of the school is to nurture students in all areas to achieve their maximum potential in academic and personal development in order to ensure the continuation of our nation's building. We hope the current grade 6 will step up in this regard at high school. We apply 8 criteria to select our student leaders. This year, 10 prefects, 10 sub-prefects, and 14 monitors were chosen based on these criteria. Head boy was Kai Hong, head girl was Divya Acharya, and deputy head girl was Elise Wong. Our brownies with their teacher, Miss Alisa Hall, participated in the annual Remembrance Day service and activities at St. James Parish Church. Malia Evans, Kayla Harrison, Savannah Fong, and Divya Dio Turner were the committed grade 6 brownies. Parents Month and Day was celebrated in November under the theme, Be the Influence, Show Empathy, Love, and Respect. Guest speaker for the day was Mrs. Trina Simpson-Rattray, social worker at the Ministry of Education, who explained to our parents how this is done. We hope our parents will continue to be the role models for their children in this regard. Our parents came out to this function. The annual inter-house elocution competition was held. This is an important competition at the school from which we identify our students for JCDC speech competition and future debaters. Garvey House came first, Bogle was second, and Gordon House was third. Kai Hong of grade 6 was the champion boy, and Michaelia Miller of grade 1 was the champion girl. Both are Garvey House members. Our annual international junior debate resumed last November. Mount Alvernia Prep School is the defending champion, having won several consecutive championships. This year, in the first match, our team was represented by Matthew Beckford, Kai Hong, and Nia Kai Campbell of grade 6. They were prepared to debate on the moot, be it resolved that the current state of emergency is a spent force, by Miss Johnson, Mrs. Cohall, Mrs. Lanneman, Mr. Foster, Mrs. Milford, and fine-tuned by our former past parent and invaluable and independent critique, Mr. Errol Chatu. However, our opposing team did not turn up, and we won by default. Kai Hong was judged the best speaker. In the second match against Woolmer's Prep, held in January, Kai Hong, Matthew Beckford, and Jayan Grant debated the moot. For the moot, students should be streamed in the elementary level. Mount Alvernia Prep School won the match, and Jayan Grant was judged the best speaker of the match. In the third match against New Horizon Primary, Matthew Beckford, Kai Hong, and Jayan Grant debated against the moot. Rural area schools are at a disadvantage for learning. Mount Alvernia Prep School won the match, and again, Jayan was judged the best speaker of the match. Mount Alvernia Prep School reached the quarterfinals of the competition. By this time, the first COVID-19 case was reported and schools were ordered closed. The competition came to an abrupt end. We were declared zone winners and parish winners. Swimming is an important sport at the school, and this year saw our seasoned and experienced swimmers moving over to the high schools. Our current swim team is in a rebuilding mode with new members. At the first swim meet for the year, namely the ASAJ Prep and Primary School Swim Meet, our team of 19 swimmers came 6th out of 47 schools, earning 7 medals. Reese Hunter of grade 3 was the star, winning 3 gold medals and 1 silver medal, while Talon Longmore of grade 5 won 2 bronze medals. Reese won the 7 to 8 boys group 2019 High Points Trophy. In the Mayberry swim meet, 44 schools participated. Our swim team of 16 swimmers placed 4th overall, maintaining its position as one of the top school teams. The team won 7 gold medals, 2 silver medals, and 2 bronze medals. Nia Kai Campbell of grade 6 won 2 medals, a gold and a bronze medal. The age group High Points Trophy was won by our star, Reese Hunter of grade 3, who won 4 gold medals in the 7 to 8 boys age group. We thank the coaches, Ms. Rosemary Logan and Mr. Adolfo Morales, for coaching the team. The first match of the annual Maths Olympiad conducted by the Mathematics Department of the University of the West Indies took place in February. A total of 63 students from grades 4 to 6 participated. Of this number, 20 of them were from grade 6. They included Jayan Grant, Tafari Wright, Malia Evans, Yu Chen, Elise Wong, Justin Kroll, Alice Wynn, Isaac Downer, Kai Hong, Divya Acharya, Sebastian Griffiths, Nia Kai Campbell, Adriana Lawson, Stephen Taylor, Yendi He, Divya Dio Turner, Nathan Hunter, Darian Blackmore, Hayden Sr., and Savannah Fong. Our computer lab was completely refurbished by the PTA under the leadership of Mr. Cameron, President, and his executive members. Vice President Mrs. Tricia Bikari spearheaded this project. Mrs. Bikari was able to rope in her relative, Dr. Mark Henry, who together with his group of generous associates donated 41 brand new computers, a whiteboard, and other items. These were transported through our benevolent Roman Catholic charity organization, Food for the Poor. Through the kindness of Mr. Damien Chu, past student and parent of Computer Depot, installations were done. The playfield, under the leadership of our secretary of the PTA, Mrs. Raquel Frey Williams, and her team, rejuvenated and restored the playfield with donations from various entities in and around Montego Bay, including Doctor's Cave Bathing Club. Several parents were also involved in this project. We had a soft opening of these two areas in January. Monsignor Erimodio Moavesi, Vicar General of the Diocese and Rector of Blessed Sacrament Cathedral, blessed these places. Board members, PTA President, executive members, staff and students of Mount Alvernia Prep School and Chetwood Memorial Primary were also present. Our official opening had to be pushed aside due to COVID-19. Computer lab became functional right away, while use of the playfield had to be delayed so as to allow time for the grass to grow. We are so thankful to our donors and the enthusiastic PTA working for the improvement of the oldest and the best prep school in the West. Their aim is to leave the school better than before. We had a change in our school management structure in January with the outgoing chairman, Reverend Father Carl Clark, moving to new and serious responsibilities in Kingston. He gave 14 of his best years in the diocese, serving as the Vicar for Education, among other duties. His committed and enthusiastic leadership during this period is beyond comparison. We appreciate his work and miss him dearly, but we know he still cares about us. Our Deputy Chairman, Inspector Yvonne White Powell, is our new chairman. She is a long-standing member of the Jamaica Constabulary Force and is currently the head of community relations in St. James. She is not new to us, as she has been on the school board for several years. We know that she will do her best in this new capacity. Our new Vicar for Education is Reverend Father Colin King, a Franciscan priest. He was a teacher for many years in the US before becoming a priest. We are happy to have Father Colin participate in this exercise. The Environmental Club, under Miss Gardner, Miss Samuels, Mrs. Milford, Miss Myrie, engaged students and parents in the Vicinco plastic bottle collection drive competition. We have to commend the parents who were behind their children in the club. At the end of the first term, Mount Alvernia Prep School came second in the region and was awarded $50,000. In the second term, that ended so abruptly, we came second also and was awarded another $50,000. Nationally, Mount Alvernia Prep School came sixth. First was George Headley Primary from Kingston. Second was Sandy Bay Primary from Hanover. Third was Duckenfield Primary from St. Thomas. These are primary schools with over 1,000 students enrolled, but with a student population of less than 300 students. The stakeholders of Mount Alvernia Prep have to be congratulated for their all-round efforts. Proceeds will go towards the creation of a mini garden at the far end of the front playfield. Adriana Lawson and Divya Gio Turner from grade 6 were very involved in this project, together with students from other grades. Our school was inspected in January by a team of 5 education officers headed by Senior Education for the Primary Education, Mrs. Patricia Horton. Their aim was to observe the delivery of the National Standards curriculum in grades 1 to 6 and to find out if the school was following the format of lesson plans as expected by the NSC. They were very pleased to find that both areas were being implemented. They were also pleased to see the active engagement of the students and their disciplined behavior. Concluded that the school environment is conducive to learning. They were delighted with the ethos of the school. Towards the end of January, the earthquake of magnitude 7.7 rattled the nerves of all of us. The drill that was done 2 weeks before came so handy. Students were so scared, but are to be commended for doing right away what they were drilled to do. Thank God we were all safe. Our students participated in the Milo Western Relays at GC Foster College and did quite well. The girls' team of Jaylee Chin, Moya Brown, Jayan Grant of grade 6, and Nia Annalay Forbes of grade 5 came first. And the boys' team of Sebastian Griffiths, Caleb Stanley of grade 6, and Kyle Shepard and Howard Wallace of grade 5 came fourth. Alana Gooden of grade 5 and Stephen Taylor of grade 6 were the reserves. Part 1 of the PEP exams 2020, the abilities test, was administered in late February. 4-H pre-achievement day was held during the midterm in the second term. Kai Hong and Divya Acharya of grade 6 participated, accompanied by their teachers, Mrs. Spence, Mrs. Peart, and Mrs. Sinclair. We have not yet got any results on that event. In JCDC elocution competition, 30 pieces were entered. It was the largest number of entries from the school. Miss Beverly Hall, Miss Johnson, and Mrs. Cohall worked tirelessly with the students. The school won 6 gold medals, 10 silver medals, 10 bronze medals, and 4 merit awards. The 4 merit awardees are newcomers who we know will do better next year with more experience and confidence. We hope they will persevere. From grade 6, Malia Evans and Stephen Taylor got bronze medals, Matthew Beckford and Jayan Grant silver medals, and Isaac Downer and Kai Hong were the gold medalists. We applaud them. In JCDC dance, 3 pieces were entered at the parish level. Traditional folk dance won a bronze medal, the maypole won a silver medal, and the quadrille piece won a silver medal too. Grade 6 students, Kayla Harrison, Malia Evans, Savannah Fong, Adriana Lawson, Hannah Ebanks, Jaylee Chin, Moya Brown, and Leah Campbell were part of the Maypole piece. Mr. Lewis, our dance tutor, came to the scene in late November to choreograph the dances. And Miss Hales and Mrs. Peart were behind the students with their practice sessions and with the selection of costumes. JCDC Music with Mrs. Halliburton and assisted by Mrs. Peart, Miss Gray, and Miss Johnson got 6 pieces through the elimination round to the parish finals. Unfortunately, COVID-19 closed that down and the parish finals were not held. This academic year saw the addition of new members to the academic staff, Mrs. Cynthia Popkin, Mrs. Esther Malcolm, and Miss Karima Swaby, while Miss Kimberly Allen, Mrs. Mary Jones, and Mrs. Kersha Lanneman left us. We are happy to have new members join us, but we are not very pleased to see them leave. One of the pillars of the school is Mrs. Colleen Halliburton. This outstanding music teacher, who is so talented, creative, and gifted, joined the staff more than 25 years ago. She lifted the school tremendously in the musical field to great heights. Our children excelled at JCDC music competitions each and every year, bringing home so many medals and trophies. They were so good and were sought after by corporate entities to perform at their social events. Mrs. Halliburton had the golden touch and had a very good rapport with her students. We are grateful for her many years of sterling service. She has indicated that she is unable to continue on a regular basis next year due to health conditions. We are sad to see her leave us, and we take this opportunity to salute her and wish her well. We want her to know that we love and appreciate her work very much. Music at Mount Alvernia Prep School will be synonymous with Mrs. Halliburton for a long time. Continue to keep smiling and beaming with pride and joy, Mrs. Halliburton. Our grade 6 students and teachers, together with the rest of the school, were online since the start of the final term in April. It has been an innovative way to teach and learn at the level. Teachers, parents, and students have learned new skills and methods that will help in the digital world. Our PEP results were released 2 days ago, and they are as follows. 35 students were in grade 6. Based on their grades 4, 5, and 6 assessments, that is, numeracy and literacy tests in grade 4, performance task tests in maths, language arts, social studies, and science in grade 5, and mental abilities in grade 6, all 35 students were placed in pathway, which means that these students have demonstrated adequate and also advanced level of competence necessary at grade 6 as specified in the National Standards Curriculum, also called the NSC, and that they should be given extended learning activities in grade 7. This is a testimony of the high academic standard of the school. This graduating class was not so focused in grades 4 and 5, but was blossoming gradually in grade 6, as was seen in their internal grades at the end of the first term in their end of term reports. Our teachers, students, and parents are to be applauded. Almost all of our students were placed in the traditional high schools. Our overall top student and top girl is Alice Win Thien with a placement score of 347.1. And top boy is Tafari Wright with a placement score of 341. We congratulate our students, teachers, and parents. It has been a very unusual and unpredictable school year. One lesson to be learned is to do your very best every day while remaining focused. We thank God we are all together despite the abrupt and unexpected changes brought about not only to us in Jamaica, but to the whole world. However, we have to give thanks in everything. We thank our supportive school board, PTA, church, and community for being there always. To our graduating class of 2020, you are the first unique special batch of graduates from Mount Alvernia Prep School. Do not take anything for granted, but do your best in every facet of your lives every day. Become role models in your high schools. Do a good deed every day and enjoy working hard for success. Last but not least, be good human beings. Do remember our motto, laboris sui premium recipit, the worker gets the reward of his labor. Congratulations to our graduates from all of us at Mount Alvernia Prep School and Kindergarten. May God be with you as you start the next leg of the journey. Do remember our theme, the journey continues despite the pandemic. Thank you.
Such a comprehensive report. Well, one thing I can tell you, I'm very happy that you just did it for the year. The school has achieved so much that, you know, it takes quite a bit to really announce all that the school has done. And this is one very rich legacy. I can see much blingage, a lot of gold, silver, and bronze. Congratulations, Mount Alvernia Prep. Very, very good. I really appreciate, and I'm glad that I was a part of this. Not as a student, well, probably as a student also, because as all the parents would agree with me on this, that with all the projects and stuff that had to be done, we were pretty much involved. I had to go back and dig up my primary school books, but you know, it was for a good cause. I want to share with you tip number 3 for your online interviews. Right, that's tip number 3. Ensure that you are in a well-lit area. I'm sure probably all you could see was a little sparkle from my eyes, probably. But you know, that's very, very important when you are online in an atmosphere like Zoom, preparing for an interview or something of that nature. So I need to just to advise for those persons who are logged on as students, kindly ask that you rename when logging on so that our facilitator can know exactly who to direct his attention to for the persons who will be participating. So that's for the parents and well-wishers who are logged on as students. We kindly ask that you rename and re-log in. Thank you so much for your kind cooperation. We're going to be having the valedictory address, and 2 of our star students, please do remember that all our students are stars, but this will be done by Divya Acharya, and she's our head girl, and also Kai Hong, head boy. Please put your hands together and make them welcome.
Master of Ceremonies, Mr. Miguel Beckford, Chairman of the School Board, Inspector Yvonne White Powell, other members of the board.
Principal, Mrs. Teresa Cherian, guest speaker, Dr. Nicole Nation, distinguished guests, parents, friends, fellow graduates. Good afternoon.
My name is Kai Hong, and together with Divya Acharya, we are very grateful to be the valedictorians and to propose the valedictory speech.
Over the next few minutes, we will be taking you through our journey at this noble institution and show honor to the persons who have helped us along. This afternoon, we reminisce on our years and savor the victories that came our way.
Indeed, these are most unusual times for all of us. If anyone had told us at the start of the 2019 academic year that we would have to stay at home and complete our school year online, and that the much feared examination that we have spent most of our primary lives preparing for, PEP, that most of it would be canceled and our graduation would be on Zoom, we would have laughed in disbelief and called that individual absurd. Unfortunately, that has become our reality. There is a proverbial phrase that goes like this: when life gives you lemons, you make lemonade. And that's exactly what this graduating class of 2020 have done.
First and foremost, we thank God for life, our achievements, and success. Without Him, none of our successes would have been possible. To the Mount Alvernia Preparatory School family, you have endowed us with the gifts of education, skills, and good morals. Your passion and dedication have helped us to realize that ain't no mountain too high, ain't no valley low, ain't no mountain high now, ain't no valley low, to keep us from succeeding. Now, we will begin the story of our journey here at this noble institution, Mount Alvernia Preparatory, as best as we can recall.
For many of us, our journey at Mount Alvernia Preparatory began in pre-K 9 years ago, with lots of tears, and I mean a lot. For some, up to 2 terms. We wanted to stay home, or in some cases, for our parents to stay with us. However, in no time, we made friends and grew more comfortable with each other. This was due to our loving and caring teachers, Mrs. Spence, and the young and energetic Miss Fraser, who kept us active.
The year quickly went by, and then it was on to kindergarten. We encountered our 2 joyful teachers, Miss Gray and Miss McIntyre. While in their class, we sang songs in order to remember important things we learned in our lessons. We had a wonderful time playing while learning, and in what felt like a short time.
It was now on to intermediate. Entering intermediate, we saw a very familiar face. Miss Fraser, who was our teacher in pre-K, had followed us into intermediate. I guess she truly missed us. Miss Nesbeth, our new teacher, was very elegant and creative.
Finally, we were now seasoned members of Mount Alvernia Preparatory School. As we were up the stairs to grade 1, we felt so much bigger and proud now that we were on the middle floor. It became more challenging as we began to learn harder concepts. At the beginning of grade 1, our teachers were Miss Murray and Miss Ravina Hales. Miss Hales was a kind and caring teacher who always cautioned us about how we behave. She would tell jokes and play little games like I Spy and Go Down Emmanuel Road, Gallant Boy, for Pick Up Rock Stone with us. Miss Murray was an excellent teacher and made us act out stories like Cain and Abel in front of the class. It was really fun to see various stories being acted out by different students each day. Then it was time for Miss Murray to leave. We all felt downhearted that she would no longer be with us. Soon, she was replaced by Miss Beverly Hall, who had been the acting principal. Miss Hall was very funny, inspiring, musical, and a loving teacher who gave us nicknames like Sunbeams, Sweetie Pie, and Sugar Plum. The Lord gave us two ends, one to sit on and the other to think with. Success depends on which one you use the most.
From then onwards, school became more challenging, and this came to reality when we entered the much feared grade 2. We encountered two beautiful teachers, but looks can be deceiving. Miss Johnson, who was strict, and Miss Lanneman, who was more gentle, became our two new teachers in grade 2. Mrs. Lanneman especially loved to make us play the games, Bully in the Pen, You Can't Come Out, and There's a Brown Girl in a Ring, Tra-la-la-la-la. On the other hand, Miss Johnson made sure that mathematics became our favorite subject. From as early as grade 2, she would always encourage us to do extracurricular activities, such as spelling bee, speech, debates, and others, because she wanted us to get the award for participating in over 3 extracurricular activities. She was right. You will see many of us receiving our awards for the extracurricular activities. Thank you, Miss Johnson.
Entering grade 3, we met Miss Taylor, who was very determined. And then a familiar face appeared again. It was Miss Fraser. Now that can't be coincidental. Miss Fraser, we know you love us, and we love you too. She must be chasing us. I guess Miss Fraser just missed us too much. Miss Fraser and Miss Taylor. A perfect partnership. We always heard jokes from Miss Taylor each time we finished our work early. And Miss Fraser joined in and played with us, and we enjoyed it.
It was now our final flight of stairs, and we were afraid of what we would encounter, the upcoming PEP exams. But at the same time, we knew that these upper floor teachers would work their butts off for us to achieve highly proficiency. Miss Allen and Miss Gardner became our new teachers in grade 4. In the beginning of the year, they were both fun, loving, playful teachers. But that was only a decoy. Pretty soon, they morphed into strict teachers, demanding the highest qualities of work from us, with almost no smiles on their faces. There's a saying that goes, there is a time for work and a time for play.
We were now at the final leg of the journey. But Kai, you realize that we have not learned about why the sun, S-U-N, did not go to high school?
I found out because it already had 1,000,000 degrees.
When we entered grade 5, we were quite calm because our grade 4 teacher, Mrs. Gardner Grant, loved us so much that she came over with us. Our new teacher, Miss Alyssa Hall, immediately captured our hearts with her warm smile. We enjoyed going on educational trips, like to the St. James Municipal Corporation and the Rastafarian Village. We became real scientists under the of Miss Hall. We also learned many things, like how starch reacts to iodine and how to make ice cream. In the future, we are sure our own ice cream parlors. Would you like to make ice cream too? Check Miss Alyssa Hall.
Divya, can you tell the parents what your classmates did to get straight A's?
Yes, it's just working hard.
No, Divya. Simple. By using a ruler. Now we are at the end of our journey. Grade 6. Can you believe it? We are now on our way out. It seems like it was only yesterday we entered this school. Grade 6 started with us interacting with our two cheerful teachers, Mrs. Kohal and Miss Samuels, in July 2019. Miss Samuels was very energetic and we loved doing science experiments with her, like putting food into a container and watched the decomposition process. We even added water to bottles to create music.
Miss Kohal, on the other hand, was very loving, and she made our lessons come alive by turning our lessons into plays that we acted out in front of our class. Once, we even had our own election. Fellow graduates, do you remember getting your fingers red? If we were to mispronounce words or to make up our own words, Miss Kohal would get a Bible and preach non-stop, which would make us laugh until we started to cry.
All work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. Mrs. Brown Burton, we are grateful for your tireless effort whooping us into great athletes. Look at our achievements. Just look at what you did for the girls' relay team. Ask Jaylee, Moya, or Jan. They came first at the Milo relay. And look out, you might see one of them at the Olympics.
This is a question for Kai. Why did the music teacher need a ladder?
Let me try. To reach the high notes?
Our music teacher, Mrs. Halliburton, is a funny lady who loved children. Every music class, she would ask one of our classmates to come to her. And she would say, "Oh, Didi." Then she would squeeze their cheeks while smiling. Mrs. Colleen Halliburton, we are forever grateful. And quoting from Bob Marley, one good thing about music, when it hits, you feel no pain. End of quote.
Divya, who was the greatest artist of all time?
Is it Pablo Picasso?
Wrong. It is Mr. Edmondo de Souza. Even for those of us who couldn't draw a straight line with a ruler, we loved art classes. Mr. Edmondo made sure of that. He used humor to teach us art. He gave us lots of jokes while he drew objects on the board, which miraculously turned out to be masterpieces. At all times, he encouraged us to be at our best and to be creative.
Now, there is no great team without a great leader. Mrs. Charian, our principal, you are an amazing person. You always encourage students to work harder in order to reach the top. Mrs. Charian came to our classes frequently to remind us how important it is to do well in our examinations. At devotions, she even used words of encouragement for us to feel motivated to achieve better grades. She enlightened us with Bible verses and always said that Jesus is right there when you need him. Our principal strongly believes that discipline motivates learning, and we promise you that we will continue to improve our penmanship. We love you, Mrs. Charian.
Divya, what kind of plates do they use on Venus?
Mm, that's a tough one. Flying saucers?
Correct. We all know that a hungry child cannot learn, and of course, food is one of our basic needs. In the cafeteria, we had Miss Rosemary Rodriguez, cashier, Mrs. Sonia Spence, head chef, Miss Shireen Findley, server slash chef. They made sure we were well, if not overfed. Each day, we were sure of a warm and delicious lunch. Nuggets and fries with a cool drink. They were not only interested in feeding us, but even inquired us about our learning. Where else could we have gotten that treatment? Only at Mount Alvernia Preparatory School. They all deserve medals.
Hi, where are you going?
I'm taking my vouchers upstairs and collecting 2 markers for my teacher.
Well, I'm going to the office to collect copy papers. Mrs. Karine Beckford Thomas, Miss Tashina Grant, and Mrs. Francisca Watson extended their roles as of a teacher and ensured that we displayed good manners while doing their administrative duties.
Mrs. Rosa Milford, Rosa, aka Jack of all trades, is our school's librarian, part-time secretary, technician, travel companion, who we could also consider as our school nurse. When someone gets hurt, you could always count on her. Miss Rosa, who was also strict on her books, if they were not returned on time, you were not allowed in the library until you returned the books.
Miss Elaine, you are one of our favorite persons. You did more than keeping our floors clean. You are our confidant, mediator, counselor, and at times, you even helped us with our projects and settling our disputes in the absence of our teachers. You are always the one to give us uplifting talks whenever we felt down. We are very grateful and truly blessed to have such an amazing ancillary staff. Miss Marcia James, aka Miss Juliet, you took care of us in the kindergarten department. You wiped our noses and our you-know-where. You also provided us with after-school care, always saying, "This is the last time you're doing it." We, however, knew otherwise. Miss Cunningham, we will always remember you, and we thank you. Mr. Nigel Dixon, our gardener, you are like a poster child for what the environment should look like. Clean surroundings, beautiful gardens, and well-manicured lawns. Mr. Nigel, thanks for making our school grounds the most beautiful in the West.
Me is a gate man, key man, security experts. Everybody have to pass through me. Mr. Buttle, from the very first day we stepped out of our parents' cars, you have been our knight in shining armor. He loved giving us nicknames to us, such as Tweety Bird and Mighty Mouse. He carried our bags upstairs, although some of us are very capable. Taking things we needed for school but left at home, staying with us long after school ended. Thanks for not taking us to the police station. Instead, you made several calls to our parents or drivers. Mr. Buttle, you went above and beyond your duty. We salute you.
Finally, Thank you to all the members of staff and our beloved parents for putting up with us from our nose-picking days to ranging harmonial breakdowns, for letting us make mistakes and to learn from them, and for molding us into the students we are today. Through it all, you have been our rock. So as we take this final virtual walkout of this school, we thank you all for helping us to answer the question of who we are. The tassel is worth the hassle.
To my fellow graduates, as a class, we have become more like a family. We complete each other. Our different experiences at Mount Alvernia Preparatory have made the school's journey unforgettable. We have now ended one glorious chapter of our lives, and a new one will begin shortly. New adventures, new friendships, new series of struggles. But with the values that we have learned from Mount Alvernia Preparatory School, let us keep stepping towards the fulfillment of our dreams and aspirations.
This afternoon, not even COVID could stop us from graduating with honors. And as the theme states, the journey continues beyond the pandemic.
Thank you so much, Divya and Kai. I felt like I was starting my Mount Alvernia trip all over, you know, starting from the first day that I dropped off my little kid. One call his name. I'm gonna ask my technicians to sort of zoom in the teachers for me. There is a little change in the curriculum that we have to announce, and I was given this task. Oh, ministry didn't tell you? Oh well. All right, so there are some changes. I know Mrs. Cohall would probably be very interested in this also because she's our math expert. So in the past, where n plus 95 usually equals to a number, that has changed significantly, and I hope you're taking notes. N plus 95 now equals to a letter M, which is for mask. So therefore, n plus 95 is going to be now equal to mask. For science, we used to explore the mixture of sand in water or sugar in water to figure out whether or not this is a heterogeneous or homogeneous mixture. That has changed. We will be looking, based on what is happening now with COVID and other things happening in the atmosphere, we'll be now placing a lot of focus on the mixture of sand and air, or should I say sand mixed with the cloud. So that's item number 2. And the last item that will be changed on the curriculum is that for those who go on to that tertiary and so on level in terms of studying immigration law and border controls, there will be some significant changes here. They're still exploring how is it that we have migration from one country to another. For example, we're looking closely at Africa and the Saharan desert. How is it that we have sand traveling over 6,500 miles without a visa, without having to pass through immigration, without having any connection with customs? And they are also looking deeply into how this got here without any form of health records. We know that there's extensive checks that's going on at the airports now, and we are exploring how this is going to happen. There's also one very serious aspect of it, and this has to do with the economists. They're checking how is it that for our regular travelers, the fare to Africa is so expensive, yet the fare that these persons pay to come into Jamaica, where because they're particles, I don't know what they're made up of. It could be sand. We're just thinking that it's sand. They got here free of charge. So as you move from one level to the next, we will have a lot of issues to deal with, and we'll have a lot of questions to answer. And I'm sorry that the Ministry of Education did not tell you this before, but because of some connections that I have, they have asked me to let you know that these are some of the stuff that they will be looking at. So please ensure that you take note. Thank you very much. All right. So our next item is a song, and this will be done by Mateo Beckford.
Ready?
Your sense of wonder, you get your fill to eat, but always keep that hunger. May you never take one single breath for granted. God forbid love ever leave you empty-handed. I hope you still feel small when you're standing behind the ocean. Whenever one door closes, I hope one more will open. Promise me that you'll give faith a fighting chance. And when you get a choice, sit it out or dance. I hope you dance. I hope you dance. I hope you never fear those mountains in the distance, and never settle for a path of least resistance. Living might mean taking chances, but they're worth taking. Loving might be a mistake, but it's worth the making. Don't let some helping heart leave you bitter. When you come close to selling out, you reconsider. And give the heavens above more than just a passing glance. When you get a choice, sit it out or dance. I hope you dance. I hope you dance. I hope you dance. Small when you're standing beside the ocean. Whenever one door closes, I hope one more will open. Promise me that you'll give faith a fighting chance. And when you get a choice, you sit it out or dance. I hope you dance.
Thank you so much. And for all the persons graduating today, you know, I've heard it so many times in the speeches that were given before, you know, when things don't look to be going right, or when life throws lemons at you, get a little sugar and get some water, get a big jug and make some lemonade. All right. So I hope you'll find something to dance about. There's always that thing somewhere. All right. So we will be having our guest speaker, and she'll be coming to us shortly. But before she does, Kayla Harrison will be telling us a little bit more about our guest speaker.
Master of Ceremonies, Mr. Miguel Beckford, Chairman of the School Board, Inspector Yvonne White Powell, Principal Mrs. Theresa Cherian, and other distinguished guests, good afternoon. Nicole Nation is a physician who graduated from the University of the West Indies, Mona campus in 2016 with a Bachelor's of Medicine and Surgery degree with honors. She was selected as a Jamaican Chevening Scholar in 2018 and went on to pursue a master's degree in public health, leadership and management, graduating with merit from the University of Sheffield. In 2015, Dr. Nation received the Queen's Young Leader Award from Queen Elizabeth II at Buckingham Palace in England in recognition of her work to raise awareness about disabilities in Jamaica. She was selected as the UWI Graduate of the Decade 2009 to 2018. Dr. Nation has written professionally for the Jamaica Observer and has gone on to self-publish 2 books, one of which is U is for University, which is available on Amazon. She is a vision board workshop facilitator and a certified life coach. She is a self-described urban adventurer who enjoys competing in half marathons. Dr. Nation attended Mount Alvernia High, graduating in 2009, and Chetwood Memorial Primary School, graduating in 2004. Dr. Nation, who was a past beneficiary, is one of 4 daughters for her parents and grew up in the volatile community of Norwood. Growing up, her father worked as a security guard, whilst her mother battled mental illness. Undeterred by her circumstances, she persevered to make something of her life. She credits the strong foundation that she received from the Catholic-run schools she attended as playing an important role in her current success. We are so pleased to have Dr. Nicole Nation as our guest speaker. Let us put our hands together and welcome her.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Kayla, thank you so much for that wonderful introduction. I really felt well. Thank you so much, Mr. MC, Mr. Beckford, Chairman, Inspector Yvonne White Powell, and members of the school board, Principal, Mrs. Cherian, Father Colin King, Vicar for Education for the Diocese of Montego Bay, specially invited guests, teachers, administrative staff, auxiliary staff, parents, carers, boys and girls of the Mount Alvernia Preparatory and Kindergarten School family, a pleasant good afternoon. Now, I know I can't see you all out there in graduate land, but I am trusting that everyone is dressed up and looking sharp. From my gallery view, I can see that everybody is looking quite sharp. And very much, I just want to say congratulations. So just a brief outline about my, just going to give a brief introduction about myself. And I'm also going to make a special dedication as it relates to this speech. I have 3 main points that I'd like to give and a few closing remarks. Now, first and foremost, I would like to say that it's an absolute pleasure for me to be here today. I would like to thank your principal, Mrs. Cherian, for extending the invitation. To be honest, when she asked me, I just couldn't believe my luck. Sure, I said, I'd love to be the guest speaker for your first virtual graduation ceremony. So class of 2020, you are indeed a very special batch of graduates. Now, as most of you have heard from my introduction, I went to your sister schools. I went to Chetwood Memorial Primary, and I also went to Mount Alvernia High School. And so for over a decade, I used to pass through your school every day. My 2 sisters, Yannick and Mariella, they also attended Chetwood and Mount Alvernia High School as well. So all 3 of us passed through Mount Alvernia when Mrs. Cherian was principal. That's a very cool fact. So she know all 3 Nation sisters. Now I can recall the first person that ever called me doctor, and that was Father Carl Clark. Now he would call out to me when I was going down the hill in the evenings. I was only 14 years old, and I was just a 9th grader, but he knew something from then. He would say, "Hi, Dr. Nation." I was like, "Hi, Father Clark." But he knew from then. And so, like I said, I honestly don't feel like a stranger in your midst. I feel like family. So I want to thank you for the invitation to come and speak, and also the very warm welcome that I received. Now, before I go any further, I would like to dedicate my graduation speech to Sister Angela Harris. She's the past principal of Mount Alvernia High School and also Immaculate Conception High School in Kingston. Now, unfortunately, she passed away just a few weeks ago, and I'm sure those of us who knew her and knew of her would agree that she paved the way for women's education in Jamaica. And as such, she played a major role in me being able to sit here or stand here before you today with all my accomplishments. So sister, may your soul rest in peace. I'd also like to say that even one fond memory I have of sister was being in 7th grade, and she encouraged us all to purchase a sweater. And I still have my Mount Alvernia sweater today. So thank you, sister. Now, boys and girls, today is indeed an incredibly special day. It is your graduation day. Woo-hoo! Now, I don't know, I know that you would much not rather tan your yard, but because of COVID, you have to. So we will make sure you make the most of your experience today, and we'll make it to be the most joyous occasion that we can have today. Now, I must confess, I love ceremonies and celebrations. I love graduations, I love birthdays, weddings, the whole 9 yards. Now, just a few months ago, I had my very own graduation. It was in July, and it was truly a memorable experience. And so when I received the invitation to come and speak today, I was more than delighted to be given the opportunity and the absolute honor. Now, a very big congratulations to you all for having achieved this milestone in your educational journey. I am quite sure that you all are delighted to have seen this day come. So congratulations again. Now, the theme for today's graduation is "The journey continues beyond the pandemic." Now, funny enough, I've had some time to think about this, your graduation theme. To be exact, I had about 90 days of thinking time. You see, boys and girls, when people give graduation speeches, they tend to use cliches. A lot of them try to sound wise when they give you advice. But these words I have written for you today, they stem from my own personal experience. You see, boys and girls, during the global pandemic, when the global pandemic started in late March, Jamaica decided to close its borders. So at the time, I was making my way home to Jamaica from the United Kingdom after completing my studies. Now, I took a plane from London, England, on the 22nd of March. I was bound for Kingston, Jamaica. Because of all the travel restrictions, though, there were no direct flights to get from the UK to Jamaica in time before the borders would close. And so my plan changed. The new plan was for me to board a flight from London and then get off in Barbados, which is another Caribbean island, then board another flight to Kingston. This was to take place over 2 days. I did manage to make it out of England in time, but my connecting flight from Barbados was canceled. Can you imagine? And so for 84 days, I was stranded in Barbados. Being stranded in Barbados was quite an interesting experience. Barbados, though it is a Caribbean island, I know you guys are all PEP graduates, so you can see where Barbados is in relation to Jamaica. So for me, it was quite an interesting experience. I was stranded in Barbados during a disease outbreak. Well, it was just my luck. Those were the set of circumstances that I had to deal with over the lockdown period. And so, like I said, I had a lot of thinking time. Time to think about your graduation theme and what it is that I wanted to say to you before you go off into the next chapter of your life. So let's get started. So the theme is the journey continues beyond the pandemic. Now, I think there are three things that I wanted to tell you today. And this is all based on my experience of being stranded during the pandemic in Barbados. You see, when many of you were home safe in Jamaica during the outbreak, I was in a new environment. I had to start all over again. I had to make new friends. I had to take instruction from persons who already knew the place. I had to adjust my expectations. I had to create new opportunities. Sounds familiar? Like I was, many of you will be thrown into a new environment come one Monday morning in September. You will have to make a new routine. You will have new teachers. You'll have to make new friends. You'll have new classmates. You'll have to do new subjects. Everything is going to be new. Remember, though Barbados was a Caribbean island, it wasn't Jamaica. Some things were familiar, but I had to adjust to my new environment. I had to use the same set of skills that I had developed in Jamaica and also in the UK to get by in Barbados. I had to find somewhere to rent. I had to learn where to buy food. I had to buy phone credit. I had to find things to occupy my time. I had to exercise. I had to create a daily routine. You get the picture. When you get to high school, you will have to do the very same thing. You will have to adjust to your new environment. You will have to apply the same self-discipline that you had in prep school to your high school work in order to get the grades that you want. You will have to show respect and friendliness to others in order to make new friends. You will have to take responsibility for your own learning in order to make the most of the opportunity. You see, boys and girls, like me, you will have to make or take the experiences and lessons that you learned in prep school over to high school in order to make a smooth transition. Just to drive home this point, let's say, for instance, I was stranded in Cuba. Now, Cuba is a Spanish-speaking Caribbean island. I would have trouble for sure. I don't speak Spanish very fluently, and it would have been much more difficult for me to set up myself in Cuba than Barbados. But luckily, you will be going to an environment, though unfamiliar, You will have the support that you need to make the transition into a new setting, and you will also thrive. So that's your first lesson, boys and girls. Take the skills that you have learned in prep school and build on them when you get to high school. This will make your transition so much smoother. The second lesson that I want to leave with you today is the value of character. Now, I spent almost 3 months in Barbados. During that time, I was not able to work in their hospital. I was unemployed. When I first landed in Barbados, I didn't know I would be there so long. I thought I would have been there for 1 or 2 days. Then the days turned into weeks and the weeks turned into months. So when I landed, I was not in my home country, where it was much easier or would have been much easier for me to find a job. And to make matters worse, because of a global crisis, as you can imagine, finding a job just became 10 times harder. No one was hiring. I want to tell you, boys and girls, I have to thank God that through the entire time I was in Barbados, I never went hungry. From the day I landed, persons came to my aid. They brought me groceries, fresh fish, produce, and precious toilet paper. Jamaicans who were residents of Barbados were also extremely helpful. They shared information about flight updates and repatriation protocols. Some of my newfound friends even carried me out on day trips down the island. That was incredibly fun, and that helped to lift my spirits. You see, boys and girls, the people I met in Barbados had character. They were being a good global citizen. They saw where there was a need and they did not hesitate to help. The character of good people got me through one of the most challenging periods in my life. Likewise, when you enter high school in September, you will have plenty of opportunities to develop your character. I want to encourage you to take those opportunities and always remember to make the right decision even when no one is looking. You see, boys and girls, that is my definition of character. Character is how you treat people who can do nothing for you in return. Think about it. The people did things to help me despite me not being able to help them in any way. You see, in Barbados, I had the smarts, the intelligence. I was a bright girl, but I couldn't eat my brightness. My smarts couldn't put my roof over my head. My intelligence could not keep me warm at night. While stranded, I became vulnerable. I had to rely on the kindness of other persons, and I'm grateful that they did not disappoint. Boys and girls, having been in that situation, I have learned a very important lesson: the value of character, the value of kindness. And so I will always go out of my way to repay the kindness that was given to me while stranded in Barbados. I will seek to give back in love, and I will pay it, and I will seek to pay it forward. Now, you may be thinking, having character means doing grand and important deeds, like helping out somebody who is stranded. But it doesn't have to be. It can actually be quite small, and it revolves around things you do in your everyday life. So when you go to high school, I want to encourage you not to turn a blind eye when you see a classmate being bullied or teased. Similarly, do not eat off your entire lunch, though you see that a classmate of yours is unable to afford a meal. Or do not see a classmate struggling to understand a topic that you might grasp quite easily. Do not continue to get top scores while your peer is barely scraping by, on the verge of failing a subject or worse, repeating an entire grade. Graduating class of 2020, treat others as how you'd want to be treated. Invest in the success of others. Boys and girls, you will be you'll be taught your school lessons in a classroom by a teacher. But when you get to high school, but character, which is equally as important, will be taught to you in the classroom of life. So remember to always be ready for those lessons and remember to do the right thing. That is what we call integrity, boys and girls. Integrity is doing the right thing even when no one is watching. We are living in a social media age, and so you may believe that everything has to be captured. You don't need a camera crew there when you are doing something nice. You just need to know within yourself that you are doing the right thing. Boys and girls, there are many things to show. There are many ways to show that you have a good character. Being kind, being a good team member, being a good classmate, being respectful to others, standing up for what is right, being responsible and trustworthy. These are all positive character traits. Imagine if no one decided to help me when I was in Barbados. I'm not sure if you know this, but Barbados is a pretty expensive country. It has a stronger dollar than the Jamaican dollar because of their tourism. So things are much more expensive. My money would have run out in no time if no one didn't help me. So people's character has tangible value. Knowledge without character, boys and girls, is what Mahatma Gandhi, a famous social activist, termed one of the seven deadly sins. If you think about it, boys and girls, as a medical doctor, I have medical knowledge and know what medicines to prescribe. I know how to make a diagnosis. But what if I openly disrespected my patients, act as if I'm better than them, and they were beneath me? What if I embarrassed them in front of others? What if I lacked good moral character? Do you think I would be allowed to practice medicine? So you see, boys and girls, good character and knowledge go hand in hand. So I want you all to strive to develop both. Don't just be a pupil who gets good grades. Instead, choose to be a student of life. Become a lifelong learner with a good character. Remember, learning shouldn't and doesn't stop once you graduate. It continues afterwards as well. I cannot begin to tell you the amount of new things I learned while being stranded in Barbados. And the majority of what I learned had to do with improving my character. So I am a lifelong learner. Because of this, I'm always graduating from old ways of doing things, from old thoughts, and always striving for new levels of being, and you should too. The third and final point that I want to make, boys and girls, goes back to your theme. The journey continues beyond the pandemic. The theme just suggests that after the pandemic, life will continue. Things will get better. I'm sure many of you would have wanted a physical graduation so that you could take the photos with your friends and teachers and say your goodbyes. I know this is not what you wanted, but I can guarantee you that there will be other opportunities for you in the future to celebrate. You will be moving on to another chapter of your academic journey. Likewise, I was grounded in another man's country for 3 months. During that time, I was stranded. Life didn't stop. Life went on. I still had to wake up every day and make myself busy. During the pandemic, we all had to adjust to the way we did in the past. We didn't stop living though. Think about it. 6 years of preparatory education have whizzed by so quickly, and 5 years of high school education will also do the same. Life always keeps on moving forward. While I was stranded, there was not a day that went by that I didn't think about Jamaica or coming home. And it was the hope of coming home that kept me going. So boys and girls, don't get disheartened about the current state of affairs in the world. This too shall pass. There will be other graduations. There you have high school, you will have college, you'll have university, you'll make more friends. So there will be life after Corona. So graduates, now that you're off to a bigger school, a higher level of education, I want you to remember these 3 lessons. First, transfer the lessons that you have learned at prep school to your new environment, high school. Secondly, be of good character. Always do the right thing, even when no one is watching. Lastly, keep hope in your heart because life does go on. Before Mrs. Cherian ended her school report, she stressed or she encouraged you to be a good human being, and I'd like to do the same. Boys and girls, no, I know your graduation ceremony was a whole lot different from what you imagined, but nevertheless, I had fun and I hope you did too. I want to congratulate you on your achievement, and I wish that you and your family, I wish you guys all the very best for the future. God's blessing on each and every one of you. Thank you.
We're gonna ask Alice at this time to come and give the vote of thanks.
Master of Ceremonies, Mr. Miguel Beckford. Chairman of the School Board, Inspector Yvonne White-Powell. Principal, Mrs. Teresa Cherian, and other distinguished guests, good afternoon. Dr. Nicole Nation, on behalf of the Mount Alvernia Preparatory and Kindergarten School family, especially the graduating class, we thank you for taking time out of your day to attend our graduation as well as share some of your knowledge and wisdom with us. We are honored to have had you as our guest speaker, as it is our last and most significant event we have had while attending Mount Alvernia Prep. Your wise words and actions have inspired many. Quote, take the skills you have learned in prep school and build on them when you get into high school. Will always be remembered by my fellow graduates and I. Although we are unable to see and listen to you in person, we are positive that you are just as strong-willed and intelligent as we hear of. Dr. Nicole Nation, again, we express sincere gratitude for the efforts you have made to be here with us today. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Alice. So at this time, we'll be having the presentation of the graduation certificates, and this will be done by the parents at home. Adrian Lawson, Alice Winton, James, Samuel Ashford, David Stanley, Amanda Deere, Daniel Davis, Darren Blackmore, Hilton, Adriana Lawson, put their hands together for them, Alice Winton, Asia James, Hassan Asher, Caleb Stanley, Daniel Davis, Darian Blackmore, Disney Adore Turner, Hannah Ivan, Isaac Downer, Justin Hai Hong, Taylor Harris, Leah Campbell, Addison Farmer, Nadia Evans, Mateo Beckford, Moya Brown, Nathan Hunter, Kai Campbell, Nyla McCurdy, Savannah Fong, Sebastian Griffiths, Stephen Taylor, Fari Wright, Yendi Chen, Jeanne Grant, and she will be doing the JCDC item. She got silver for this piece. Please sit back, relax, and enjoy. Jan?
Nasty School by Shel Silverstein. Oh, have you heard of Nasty School? They teach nasty things and they have nasty rules. They only take nasties, rowdies, and fools. So come, let's take a walk through Nasty School. You get to Nasty School through a secret gate. The first rule is you must be late. Your hands and face must be all caked with dirt. There must be lots of grease and gravy spots upon your shirt. In class, instead of listening, you just talk and make those awful squeaks upon the blackboard with your chalk. You must make sure your shoes are wet and muddy. And as for homework, you have to guarantee you haven't studied. You must put gum on everybody's seat. And when there's a test, you have to promise that you cheat. Instead of teachers teaching you how to make things, the bad school teachers teach you how to break things. They teach you how to smash a window pane and how to let a brand new bike get rusty in the rain. How to smash a vase to smithereens. How to tear the pages out of someone's magazine. How to bang a fender full of dents. How to leave your footprint in a square of wet cement. How to do some money belly flops. How to ruin your teeth with sugar pops. How to turn a dress into a rag. How to tear the bottom of a soggy garbage bag. How to fill the bathtub with glue. How to bounce upon a bed until the springs pop through. These are all the things you learn in Nasty School. Wanna try it? For some schools, you can't just be good. You have to be the best. Here, you can't be rotten. You have to be the rottenest.
All right, so we'll be inviting Miss Theresa Cherian to do the principal awards.
Good afternoon, everybody. It's my pleasure to give out the Principal's Award. This award is given to students who are all-round students in academics, in extracurricular activities, and in their deportment. And this year, the award goes to more than one person. This includes Alice Winthian, Niakai Campbell, Adriana Lawson, Tafari Wright, Justin Kroll, Kai Hong, and Jeanne Grant. I want to extend my congratulations to you all, and I want to encourage all of you to continue aspiring for these awards at high school. And to those who did not get selected for these awards, this is not the end. You have just begun one leg. You can continue and aspire to do your best in high school so that at high school, these awards will simply fall in your lap. Congratulations, awardees, and best of wishes to all the others. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Madam Principal. So the Top Boy and Top Girl Awards, and this is for their PEP. And we ask Inspector Yvonne White Powell She's a chairman of the school board, and she'll be doing the presentation.
On behalf of my fellow board members, the principal and members of staff of Mount Alvernia Preparatory School, in salute to our parents and to you, the children, because even though there's a top boy and a top girl, you have all done well. You have done your best. I would like to present the award for top boy to Tafari, right? Tafari, you have made us proud. You stayed up late at nights, you studied hard, you stayed away from the game that I know you were tempted to go and play on many occasions, and you excelled. You came out on top. And I know that as you continue this journey beyond the pandemic, that you will be a top student in whichever high school you go. Tafari, I salute you, son. And I just want you to know that Jamaica is behind you. We hold you up as a proud son of the soil and continue on the path that you have started on. My heartiest congratulations.
Thank you.
Well, our next awardee is to the top girl. Many times the women complain and we say that the men, they get better jobs and they are better treated than we are on many occasions. But here is a young lady who is gone ahead and she's a top girl at Mount Alvernia Prep School. She will continue to be top of the class at the high school that she has gone to. And so, my daughter, I want to salute you for receiving the Top Girl Award. You are the best. You're the greatest. You have done it. You have made it. And there is no mountain high enough, as the valedictorian said, that you cannot climb. And so we want you to climb to that mountaintop and to keep climbing and to enjoy your award, enjoy your moment. You have done it. You worked hard, you excelled, and you have done it.
Okay, while we await acknowledgement of our top girl, Alice Winton, I'm gonna ask Miss Beverly Hall, senior teacher, to come. We will ensure that Alice is acknowledged again before we close our session. So Miss Beverly Hall will be introducing to us the top 5 in splendid colors. Miss Hall, go ahead.
Good afternoon, everyone. It is my pleasure and my honor to award prizes to the top 5 students in grade 6 for the year 2019-2020. And I will start with the 5th position. In 5th place, we have Basil Arshad. There you are, Basil. Congratulations. In 4th, we have a young lady.
Thank you.
Adriana Lawson. Congratulations, Adriana. And now for the top 3. In 3rd place, we have Niakai Campbell. There you go, Niakai, looking so beautiful. Yes, clap yourself. In 2nd place, the silver medal, so Niakai, you have the bronze, okay? So in 2nd place, we have Yu Chen. Yes, Yu Chen, it's you. Congratulations. And the gold medalist, Alice. I hope she'll be able to come on. She must be having some problem with her Wi-Fi. But Alice is our gold medalist in 1st place in grade 6. Congratulations, everyone.
To ladies and gentlemen, please ensure that you take this with you to high school and beyond. I'm very proud of you all, and I feel encouraged. I probably will go back to prep school starting September. Should be able to get something this time around. All right, so I'm gonna ask Miss Ethel Samuels, class teacher, to come, and she will be giving another set of awards.
Good afternoon. The awards
Ladies
for
and gentlemen, my
deportment.
apologies. I must pause to acknowledge Alice. Give me 1 second, Miss Samuels. I must pause to acknowledge Alice. I suspect she's having technical difficulties. Alice, while you were out, while you stepped out, you were awarded top girl for PEP, and you also came up on the top 5, but of that top 5, you were top of the top 5, so you were number 1, gold medalist. Congratulations. Take it away, Ms. Samuels.
Good afternoon. The award for the deportment prizes are Justin Crowell, Divya Acharya. Congratulations. Another deportment award for Jan Grant. Congratulations, Jan.
Thank you, Miss.
Deportment award also goes to Elise Wong.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And another deportment award. This time it's for Alice Winton.
Thank you so much, Ms. Samuels. So the next award, Most Improved, and this will be given by Miss Natalie Johnson, senior teacher. I'm going to invite Mrs. Lorna Kohal, class teacher, to return and present for perfect attendance.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon, Miss.
It is my privilege this afternoon to present awards to the children who have achieved perfect attendance. Perfect attendance means never absent, never late. Nathan Hunter. Nathan Hunter. Darian Blackwood. Thank you, Nathan. Darian Blackwood. Dear, Damani Dear. Oh, here comes Darian Blackwood. Never absent, never late. Damani Dear. Congratulations to all 3. Please keep it up going into high school. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Kohal. So Mrs. Johnson was to give awards for the most improved. And this award.
Good afternoon, everyone. Congratulations of 2020. You have certainly lived up to our motto. The worker receives the reward of his labor. Congratulations. So there's a saying that goes, if at first you don't succeed, try again. It is my pleasure to award most improved to Jan Grant. Congratulations for persevering. Congrats, Jan.
Thank you, Miss.
All right. I am also here to give award to one of our guest speakers' main point, that of good character. Very important. It doesn't matter how intelligent or how well you have done academically, nothing is as important as your character. So I am awarding for courtesy, caring, and helpfulness. And the first awardee is Adonia Hilton. Adonia, congratulations. You are truly deserving. I've watched you, I've seen how caring, how loving you are, how helpful you are to your fellow classmates. And it did not go unnoticed. Congratulations.
Thank you, Miss.
All right. Our next awardee, Savannah Fong. A very caring, helpful individual. Congratulations, Savannah. Please.
Thank you, Miss.
And so deserving. All right. Last but not least, our head girl. And this should be a quality of every leader. The last award for caring and helpfulness goes to Divya Acharya. Congratulations, girl. All right, guys, well done.
Our next set of awards, activities of students, and this will be done by Miss E. Samuels, and she's our class teacher.
So the awards for 4 activities, and I'll also do some of those children who have done 3 activities. At top of the list, with 4 activities, Kai Hong. And the activities are debate, JCDC speech, Math Olympiad, and Kai participated in a 4-H club competition. Kai Hong, 4 activities. Someone else with 4 activities is Malia Evans. Congratulations, Malia. Malia participated in debate, JCDC speech, Math Olympiad, and JCDC dance. Congratulations. Keep it up, Malia. Good job. You would have heard that from Mrs. Cherian's speech that Jan Grant was best speaker more than once at the debate competition. Jan Grant also participated in 4 activities while in grade 6. The activities are debate, JCDC speech, Math Olympiad, and of course, she was part of that Milo relay team that won gold. Congratulations, Jan, a job well done. Please continue in all your efforts. Continuing with 4 activities, Divya Acharya. Divya participated in Spelling Bee, debate, Math Olympiad, and a 4-H competition. Congratulations again, Divya. All the best. Keep up the good work.
Thank you very much.
The following students participated in 3 activities. And this they did while completing their grade 6 class activity. These are Matteo Beckford. Matteo participated in Spelling Bee, debate, and the JCDC speech competition. Congratulations, Matteo.
Thank you, Miss.
Justin Kroll also participated in 3 activities. Justin Kroll participated in the Spelling Bee, in debate, and in the Math Olympiad. Congratulations, Justin. Keep up the hard work. Your journey has just begun. We'll continue after the pandemic.
Thank you, Miss.
You're welcome. Isaac Downer participated. He was a gold medal winner in the JCDC speech competition, math Olympiad, and debate.
Thanks, Miss.
Congratulations, Isaac. My role ends for this section with Nearkai Campbell. Nearkai participated in debate, in swimming, and in math Olympiad. Congratulations, Nearkai.
Let me continue with our 3 awards activities. Darian Blackwood, Darian Blackwood, spelling bee, debate, math Olympiad. Savannah Fong, debate, JCDC dance competition, math Olympiad. Kayla Harrison, debate, JCDC dance, speech, JCDC competition. Adriana Lawson, math Olympiad, debate, JCDC dance. Yendi He, spelling bee, debate, math Olympiad. Alice Wynn Penn, spelling bee, debate, math Olympiad. Stephen Taylor, speech, JCDC competition, math Olympiad. Milo Relay, congratulations to all of you. Please continue with it into high school. Thank you, sir, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you so much to our presenters and to our awardees. Congratulations. And we encourage you, of course, to keep up the excellent job you're doing. At this time, we will be having 2 special presentations. And I'm going to ask Mr. Adrian. One will be made to Mr. Adrian Lawson. The next award is going to Miss Colleen Halliburton. Is the presenter already? Elise Wang, who is our deputy head girl, to give the vote of thanks.
Master of Ceremonies, Mr. Miguel Beckford. Chairperson of the School Board, Inspector Yvonne White Powell. Father Colin King, Vicar for Education, Diocese of Montego Bay. Reverend Major Milverton Monroe. Mrs. Teresa Cherian, the Principal of Mount Alvernia Prep School, and distinguished guests, good afternoon. It is my honor and privilege to propose the vote of thanks. We are gathered here on this august occasion of the 95th graduation ceremony of Mount Alvernia Prep School and Kindergarten's class of 2020 to celebrate the gift of wisdom. This occasion is special in numerous ways. It is special because 35 graduates have completed the first stage of their academic careers. And it is also special because it is the first time in the school's history that a class is graduating during a worldwide pandemic. It is often said that gratitude is the attitude that takes you to your altitude. And so, on behalf of the graduates, I take this opportunity to thank all those who have helped us over the years. Allow me to begin by thanking our guest speaker, Dr. Nicole Nation, for accepting to grace this day with her presence. Dr. Nation, thank you for your very insightful address. And to Mr. Miguel Beckford, our Master of Ceremonies, we thank you for your entertaining and efficient contribution to today's virtual graduation. Over the years, we have been fortunate to have a team of very motivated, dedicated, and qualified teachers. With their wealth of knowledge and experience, they have given us deep-rooted foundations in Christian values and a love of learning. They have nurtured talents of which we perhaps had lost or didn't even know we possessed. For this, we owe them a huge debt of gratitude. We extend our sincere gratitude to our principal, Mrs. Cherian, for assisting us whenever and wherever we approached her. We also express our gratitude to those who have supported us in practical ways behind the scenes, from the administration and auxiliary staff, to our beloved security guard, Mr. Buttle. To our friends and families, we say thank you. Thank you for working with us to make our dreams a reality. Without your network of support, we could not have excelled in our academic and extracurricular interests. Thank you all for being here today to share in our joy. I take this opportunity to also thank Miss Janice Powell and Miss Simone Flowers, the class representatives. Mrs. Colleen Evans and Mrs. Arlette Archer Campbell, and the host of this afternoon's production, set the stage for making this virtual graduation a huge success. And now, to my fellow graduates, today is a day when we have a sense of fulfillment. Our achievements have been recognized, and we celebrate the significant milestone in our lives. If you all believe in the phrase, knowledge is power and ignorance is slavery, then today we stand here together as a proud cohort of friends with that power. This is an occasion that invokes the reflection on the Japanese saying, none of us is smarter than all of us. Let us build bridges between ourselves and others and draw one another closer in a spirit of service. Together, we endured and achieved, and now we emerge as the selves we were meant to be. We've emerged whole and complete undoubtedly by the grace of our risen Lord. Congratulations and thank you.
Thank you so much, Elise. Well, we're going to go back to two other items that we had left out earlier on. Well, the first one is the Sports Cup Award, and that's going to be done by Mrs. Brown Burton.
It is always a pleasure presenting the Sportsmanship Cup to that leader, knowing that Jamaica still has hopes in the Olympics. So for this year, that person, that award goes to none other than a person who possesses good leadership qualities, excellent leadership qualities. That's no other than Jaylee Chin.
All right, so let's
congratulations, Jaylee.
Congratulations again, Jaylee, for the, oh, there she goes. Give us a wave now. All right, so for the, great. For the special presentations, Mr. Adrian Lawson and to Mrs. Halliburton. Can we have those, please?
Master of Ceremonies, Mr. Miguel Beckford, Chairman of the School Board, Inspector Yvonne White Powell, Principal, Mrs. Teresa Cherian, and other distinguished guests, good afternoon. It is a privilege to stand here today proposing a speech to Mr. Adrian Lawson, my dad, thanking him for all the hard work at Mount Alvernia Prep. We are very fortunate to have you, and we really appreciate the fact that you took the time to contribute to our school. Thank you for your helpfulness and support at our school functions. On behalf of the Mount Alvernia Prep family, we are proud to say thank you.
I must say thank you very much for this award. I am overwhelmed, and I must say I have really appreciated Mount Alvernia Prep and all that they have been doing for all the kids and all the graduating class of 2020. It's like the kids are like my own family. And I really appreciate and love them and hope that they understand just one simple thing for me, that success is a journey, not a destination. And that's it. They may just bear that in mind to take them on to the future. Thank you.
So when next you're in search of a guest speaker, you know exactly where to turn. Mr. Lawson. Very good, sir. So the next award is going to Mrs. Colleen Halliburton. And we'll ask Mrs. Cherian to do that presentation.
Yes, good afternoon. Thank you, Mr. Beckford. Good afternoon again, everybody. It's our pleasure to recognize Mrs. Halliburton in a very special way at this graduation ceremony. It's a pity that we are not physical, because I am sure the entire cohort of graduates would want to run up and hug her. She has been a mother figure as well as a talented teacher, bringing out their talents and doing wonderful things with them. We are grateful as a school to have had her for all these years. And we want to tell her how much we have appreciated her and will continue to think of her, even though she may not be with us on a regular basis. She has promised to do some consultative work with us should we need her help. So we are very thankful for that offer. But Mrs. Halliburton, on behalf of Mount Alvernia Prep School, please remember, we love you and we appreciate your dedicated service to our school and to our students. Thank you very, very much.
Well deserved, Mrs. Halliburton. I have had the privilege of, you know, talking with her on some occasions. At one point we had requested the choir to come to my company to do some,
yeah, they always do that.
some expressions, some musical expressions, and she was quite willing to do so, and we really appreciate that. Very warm soul, and I know that you guys are gonna miss her, but as you said, she will be around still. We're gonna ask Malia to come, Malia Evans, and do the school song. We're getting to that point, close to the end.
A place of learning will always cherish its Mount Alvernia Prep School. That's where we learn the golden rule, its meaning, its purpose, and how to live it. Mount Alvernia Prep, we sing and praise. With filial love, our hearts we raise. In gratitude, we'll heed your needs by offering service of helpful deeds. Or alma mater, we're in your debt, and our alma mater will never forget. In lessons, sports, and every endeavor, we'll strive with might and main. The aims and goals of our school to gain our love and devotion will never sever. Mount Alvernia Prep, we sing and praise. With filial love, our hearts we raise. In gratitude, we'll heed your needs by offering service of helpful deeds. Our sisters, teachers throughout the year have instilled the love and fear of a changeless Lord who's always near to comfort when trials are hard to bear. Mount Alvernia, Prep, we sing your praise with filial love. Our hearts we raise in gratitude. Will heed your needs by offering service of helpful deeds. Our alma mater, we're in your debt, and our alma mater will never forget.
All right, so I'm gonna ask my technician to kindly open the microphones because I want my graduates to give me a shout. I'm gonna say hip hip, and I need some hoorays. I don't want no. All right, let me give you in the real Jamaican terms. No finke finke, pian pian, hooray. All right, you have reached a milestone. You've been looking for this. And so you're there. You have started a new phase in life, right? And you've just completed one that you couldn't wait to complete.
I think so.
So guess what? After 3, everybody ready? After 3, 1, 2, 3. Hip hip.
Hooray! Hooray!
Yes.
After 3 again, hip hip.
Hooray!
3. Hip hip. Great. All right, I love the sound of that. So we're just about coming to a close. And I want to say thank you so much. First of all, congratulations to our graduates. And thank you so much for allowing me to guide you through this program. It has been quite enjoyable. To all our viewers, those persons, friends and families here and abroad, thank you so much for joining in. The graduates, they really do appreciate it. This has been a moment that they've been looking for. Never really intended for it to be happening. What is ongoing should, well, we were hoping that this will soon come to an end, but there's nothing else that we could have done but to put this all together. For the team, I know we gave the vote of thanks already, but for the team who organized this, the parents, the teachers, this is awesome. This is what teamwork does. So when you think that you have come to a pitfall or this is not gonna happen, then the brilliant creative juices start to flow, and this is what it produces. A graduation that we could have easily sit back and say, listen, it can't happen. But for all the persons, technical persons, the teachers, as I said before, thank you so much. Thanks for allowing the children to still experience this kind of experience. I know they would not have really want to go on to their next phase in life without having this chapter in their lives come to this kind of close. We thank you so much. Teachers, again, I can't overemphasize, we really do appreciate you. And so often we tend to say, thanks to grade 6 teachers only, but I want to just put it out there that for all the teachers, for every single phase of their lives, we really thank and appreciate you, because truly one step leads to another. And for the leaders of the school board and for the principal, administrative, ancillary staff, we thank you so much. On behalf of the parents, as we go to our benediction, which will be done by Father Colin King, Diocese of Montego Bay. Thank you so much for having me. It has been a real pleasure. See you soon.
And as we come to our benediction, once again, I would just like to say how an ending is a new beginning. The ending of our graduation today is a new beginning for whatever the future holds for our graduates. And as we come to this, we do not need to be afraid. As we hear over and over again in the Bible, be not afraid. To trust in God, that He will care for us and He will provide for us. And that whatever the future holds for our graduates, we remember that they are held in the palm of God's hand. And so we come to this moment in a special way with gratitude. We ask for God's blessing, but first let us give Him thanksgiving for the ways in which He has provided for the school of Mount Alvernia Prep. He has provided such wonderful teachers and staff and principals and all of the folks who a school building is nothing without the people within it. And of course, for our students, we give God thanks for the hope of our tomorrows, Mount Alvernia Prep graduating class of 2020. We pray for the ways in which God will continue to bless and protect all who are here. We also pray in thanksgiving for the many blessings and gifts that God has given to our students and staff and teachers and principal. A school is nothing without love. It's nothing more than just an empty building. And so for the ways in which the principal, the teachers, the staff, the school board, and parents, friends, and relatives have shown love to our graduates, we give God thanks and praise. For the support, the many hours of work that everybody has put in to make this day possible throughout the years of education, we give God thanks and praise. And for the encouragement that our graduates have received, that they may continue to utilize the gifts God has given them, we give God thanks and praise. And there is no doubt of the many gifts that God has bestowed on our graduates, that they who are graduating today have been richly and abundantly blessed, that as they have been made awesomely, fiercely, and wonderfully in the image and likeness of God, we give Him thanks and praise. We ask, too, that God, for them to continue to use these gifts and to develop these gifts, and for the opportunities that they'll have next year and in the future. We give God thanks and praise. And of course, in a special way, for all of the memories of these past years, whether they be good and the joy and the friends and the laughter and the relationships that have been able to be developed and that will hopefully continue into the future, we give God thanks and praise. But also for the struggles, the difficulties, the troubles, the ability to see that we are stronger than we ever thought and that we can overcome adversities and difficulties. We give God thanks and praise, knowing that we move into the future prepared for God's love and blessing in our life. And so together, let us pray the doxology. Glory be to the Father, and to the Son, and to the Holy Spirit, as it was in the beginning, is now, and ever shall be, world without end. Amen. And to everybody, may Almighty God bless you in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen.
2020, we invite you to enjoy a little what would be normal recessional musical presentation as you hop off, and do enjoy the rest of your Sunday afternoon. It has been a pleasure. Goodbye.
Is it?